Welcome everyone to the Bob and John Sports Hour. Tonight's show, we have the 2022 season of the USFL rules, coaches, and schedules. MLB Power Rankings for the week, for week one. And Kyrie Irving's telling the Celtic fans where to put it. And joining us tonight, the man we call the Godfather of Sports, who sat next to Emperor Titus on opening day of the Colosseum in Rome back in 80 AD. Also telling Titus, this is boring. Can we add some lions and tigers? Mr. Andre Sala. And of course, the man, the myth. Actually, I got to use your line here, Andre, because Bob is the man, the myth, the legend. He is the rolling Rolodex of knowledge of sports and girls volleyball.
No. Here, John. I can be the man. I can be the myth. But there's only one legend.
Yeah,
Andre.
All right. Okay. There we go.
Bob just remembers. Bob just remembers more than I do. But I've been there and seen that.
Well, obviously, you go all the way back to, Emperor Titus. I mean, 80 AD, sitting right next to him.
Who do you think taught the Romans how to conquer the world? Somebody had to teach him how to do it, how to make the weapons, how to make the shoes with the spikes.
Hey, John, I was a small child back then. And I kept telling Andre, don't go to England, man. You're too extended. Don't go to England. And Andre just said, screw it. We're going to England anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to England. Io vini, io vido, e io...
Oh, you almost had it.
I don't know.
You almost had it. We came, we saw, we conquered.
Yeah, but I wanted to say it in Italian. That's
Good luck.
The thing.
I can't even say it in Italian.
Vidi. I cannot get the last word. I know it, but I can't see it. I can't say it. I
have to. Go ahead, Bob. Thumbs down. You just got killed by Emperor Titus.
I shall return.
Yeah. So, guys, we had a kind of a slow sports week out there. Not a lot going on, unless you're an NBA fan, right?
Yes.
Which a lot of us on this panel are not. We do enjoy the college game, but until they get their situation figured out in the NBA, I'll just stick to watching maybe just a few Warriors games a year. I mean, I don't know how you guys are, but a couple games catch my eye. I'll watch them. How are you, Bob? It's just what game would intrigue you? Regular season.
Regular season, the NBA game?
Yeah.
The Warriors and the Suns.
The Warriors and the Suns. Yeah. How about you, Andre? What game do you need to see on the? Do they still make a TV guide?
I do not know. I don't think so. I would like to see the Warriors and the Bucks.
And you're watching. You're turning it on. You're going to watch it.
And I actually will watch if it's the Warriors against the Jazz, if it's the Warriors against the Hornets.
Yeah.
Whatever. As long as the Warriors are playing, I'm going to watch it. The one that I might be disappointed in not watching because it's a big joke is the Warriors against the Lakers.
The Lakers, yeah.
Why?
Because they're not talking about the Warriors. They're talking about LeBron.
Yeah.
And that might be what might turn me off. Mm-hmm. I'll watch a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half, and then after that, change it and do something else.
Yeah, it's just that's kind of interesting thing. Do you think that do you think he's at the point where, or I should say, we're at the point that we want to watch LeBron's just to see that mistake or that stupidity, that stupid move he does? Or do you think most of the NBA fans are watching him because of that? Or you think they're watching him because, he may do something great?
Mm-hmm. Me personally,
I'm watching. Go ahead, Andre.
No, go on.
No, you go
I'm
ahead.
watching it because I want to see him kind of like screw up and see what his face looks like when his team gets beat by 15, 20 points. Because he's the type of guy that if he's winning and he's the team's doing okay and they're winning,
Yeah.
he'll come up and congratulate the players at the end of the game,
Yeah.
give them high fives, shake hands, hugs. But if his team gets dumped by 15, 20 points, he just walks right out into the hallway into the dressing room, and that's it.
Yeah.
He won't congratulate anybody.
Yeah.
And I just want to see him just sitting on the bench with that disappointed, sad look that he has when his team gets dumped. So that's my take of that.
You too, Bob?
Pretty much at this point, and I know this wrong, but yeah, I kind of watched it to see him fail. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember when he was younger, everyone was saying how great he is. Oh, LeBron's been to 8 straight finals where he won 3, lost 5.
Right.
I said, big deal.
Yeah.
Bill Russell and the Celtics in the 60s went to 8 straight finals and won them all.
They won a lot. I think didn't they win like 11 straight?
Yeah, no, they won 8 straight.
8 straight.
Then the Philadelphia Warriors beat them in 67.
Yeah.
And then came back and won 68, 69. And they lost to the
Lakers,
they didn't
I
beat
think.
the 70 because I think that was the Lakers and Knicks.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, so I have to admit one thing though, is that he played when he first came into the league, and I might have said this already. He came into the league as a young kid, and all he could do was run and dunk.
Mm-hmm.
But as the years went by, he has learned how to shoot that 15, 12, 15, 18 footer. And he's, pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Then as the years went beyond that, he has learned to shoot that 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't do it consistently.
Yeah.
But he'll make maybe 3 or 4 threes, through the course of the whole night.
Yeah.
So he has improved his what's the word I'm looking for? His skills, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
He has learned his skills to shoot better than just rely on his dunk.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I do agree with you there. I do agree that he isn't a guy in the beginning that just said, hey, I'm going to this is my game, and this is how I'm going to play, and this is the rest of my career. He isn't that guy. You could see, I mean, he was a guy that, he said, okay, I got to get a jump shot. I got to get an outside 10, 15-foot shot. I got to get better at the 3. So I'll give him that. I'll give him the fact that he's, improved his game the last, I don't know, what is he going on, 18 years?
19.
19
Yeah.
years.
If not more.
So I'll give him credit for that. I mean, he didn't just say, hey, I'm big, I'm strong, I'm going to drive to the hole, I'm going to dunk on your face. And, and instead he decided to, like you said, improve his skills all over the court. And I'll give him that.
Well,
right,
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Polarizing figure, great player. I just don't think that he is the best ever, and he'll never be the best ever.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys you can call the best era, but every era is different, okay?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they're like, well, he would have schooled Bill Russell. LeBron couldn't have played in the 60s because he wouldn't have had his own chef, his own trainer. He wouldn't be able to work out every day. Right. Those guys had to have real jobs in the offseason.
Yeah.
They came to training camp to get into shape.
Yeah.
Right.
They played with subpar athletic. I mean, they played in Chuck Taylor tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't have the best shoe for cushion to jump high and do.
I remember playing in those fucking Converse.
Yeah, they played in Chuck Taylor. So the sports technology didn't exist in the 60s.
Yeah.
So you can't say LeBron would go back there and dominate because he wouldn't, because the game was totally different and his body shape would have been different.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would have been able to dominate trying to dunk over Chamberlain.
No.
Trying to dunk over Russell.
If he would have tried to come in the 80s, if he would have tried to drive the hole in the 80s, he would have been
he got killed.
He would have got his arm broke.
Unless he played for the Pistons, he'd have got killed.
Exactly.
That's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wouldn't have been able to dunk over Clifford Ray or
Nate
Clifford Ray.
Akeem would have put the ball back down his throat every time.
Wes Unseld would have killed him himself.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Robert Parrish would have schooled him. I mean, Caldwell Jones, Daryl Dawkins, Moses Malone,
Yeah.
Billy
Right.
Paultz, those guys would have. They wouldn't
would
let
have
him just
creamed
drive
him.
the lane and dunk.
Yeah.
Hell no, you paid the price.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about Kyrie Irving, the crybaby of the week. Here we go. and I'm going to quote him. It's not, and this is a quote from him. It's not every fan, Ivan said. I don't want to attack every Boston fan, but when people start yelling, well, you know what? Screw it. When people start yelling pussy bitch and fuck you and all that, there is only so much you can take as a competitor. And of course, we know this isn't the first time he has taken a shot at the Celtics. Back in 2020, he appeared to stomp and wipe his foot on the Celtic logo at midcourt. So I'm going to start off with you, Bob. All right. There's an old saying, all is fair in love and war. I mean, there's only so much someone can take. Do you think, hey, if you can dish it out, I'm going to dish it back out? I mean, is this going to set a bad precedent in the NBA for fans and players?
You know what? I mean, okay. Number one, as a fan, even as much as I hate you as a fan, there's a certain limit to what kind of names you can call people.
Yeah.
Okay. But number two, you're gonna give the fans the number one symbol because Boston fans are number one. We are. I don't care.
I knew he was gonna go there.
But the ultimate revenge in all this, the ultimate feel good, win the game.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You lost the game. So advantage right now, Celtics fans 1, Kyrie 0.
0.
Because you don't get to talk shit until you win the game.
Yeah. But let me ask you, I mean, Andre, do you feel that, and because it's already started, we already seen it this year and last year, fans being escorted out of the stadium for trash talking or taking it a little bit too far. I mean, but now you got.
I think the fans.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the fans are taking it a little bit overboard because they know they are protected.
Yeah.
In the real life, if you see him walking down the street, or if you see him coming out of the locker room and it's just you and him, you wouldn't be saying shit like that.
No. I would because he's only 6 feet tall. I can take him, Andre. I can take him.
So the only reason why the fan does that is because they're protected, not only just from the other fans, but from the NBA. Because if that guy turns around and does something to you, the NBA is going to tell Kyrie, you got to give him whatever he wants because you attacked him.
Yeah.
And that could be millions upon millions upon millions.
Yeah.
And that's so for me, I'm the type of guy that, I will take some trash talking. But there is a point that where I'm going to go berserk and maybe do something that I might regret later on.
Yeah.
Now, the thing like Bob was saying is that he let those Celtics fans know how he feels. And now they're going to let him know.
Yeah, you're just opening up a can of worms. Yeah.
And it's going to be much worse than what they did that first game.
Yeah.
He's going to be booed every time he touches the ball. Every time he goes for a free throw. Yeah. Every time he sneezes, he's going to get booed.
Yeah.
So
I've been to, you're right. I've been to a couple games where anytime that person touched the ball, you get the boos, and there's nothing just so devastating to hear than those, hearing 30,000 people just go boo every time.
I've got one better for you. Okay. Number one, I'm glad that they don't make fans leave if they're being obnoxious and calling people names and stuff. But because if that's the case, in the 70s and 80s, every time I went to Candlestick to see a Dodger game, there'd be nothing but Dodger fans watching the game. Because every time Tommy Lasorda came out of remember Andre in the Candlestick Park, the visitors' locker room, you had to walk along the first base side through the bullpen. So Tommy would come out. and he crossed the field, and Giants fans are just giving him hell.
Right.
And Tommy's
he's blowing
kissing
kisses.
them.
Tommy's
Right.
blowing kisses, man.
We're throwing beers and hot dogs at him, and he's kissing us.
Yeah.
because Tommy knew.
Yeah, he
Tommy
knew.
knew 90% of the time in the 70s and 80s when he walked across that field, the Dodgers were going to win.
Yeah.
He knew because the Giants weren't good back then.
And there's
Yeah,
But
also
he was treated
stories.
like a man.
There's also stories that I'm going to say the word, but he ate for free a lot in North Beach anytime he was.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
They hated
Hey,
him
look,
on the field, but once he got off the field.
Rule number one when you're Italian, okay? Italians first,
Right.
Dodger fans second,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
If it's a Giants fan who's Italian, you're Italian first.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll take care of Tommy because he's Italian.
Yeah, I'm
He's
surprised they
Italian.
didn't name a
We're not taking
street
care of
after
Tommy
him on
because he's
North Beach. I'm surprised there isn't a street named after him on North Beach.
You know the craziest thing was, I'm not sure what year it was, 2010, 2011 maybe. On Columbus Day, they wanted Tommy Lasorda to be the Grand Marshal in the parade.
I heard
And
that.
Warren Yee, State Senator Warren Yee, fought that and passed something where he couldn't be the Grand Marshal.
Wow.
I'm like, man, you're lucky Don Corleone wasn't alive because, Don Corleone would have done this. Michael
Right.
Corleone would have taken out Warren Yee, and Tommy Lasorda would have been in the Cadillac as the Grand Marshal of that.
They
Exactly.
tried to bring him back in years ago as trying to get him to come back as be a Grand Marshal for that event.
Yeah.
But that event keeps changing names though every year. Now I think it's not even called. Now I think it's just Italian
Indigenous
heritage.
people.
Yeah, it's Italian. Yeah, it's Italian
We're
heritage.
going to
Day.
celebrate the fact that people got their ass kicked because they outnumbered the guys who got here and couldn't beat them. Okay.
So
now it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw out this question
Columbus was a racist.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out because we're all from different we're all pretty much the same decades. We've all attended sporting events in different decades. Do you think the trash talking was worse in the 80s than it is today? Or do you think it's not as bad as it's worse today than it is in the 80s?
I think fans think they can get away with more now.
Yeah.
But trust me, I was at a game in 1994 or 93 at Candlestick Park on the Dodgers side, and I heard 5 Giants fans in front of me say things about Mike Piazza, his sexuality, and his anatomy that I didn't know was possible. Okay?
They did not like Piazza.
They did not like Piazza.
No.
But I'm telling you right now, I heard some things that in today would have been mild.
Yeah.
But I think the fans today think they can get away with anything. They're entitled.
Yeah.
But I think that the NBA players now are too soft-skinned.
Yeah. They're a little softer.
Because if you would have picked on Larry Bird like that, Larry Bird would have lit you up for 60 points and smiled as he walked off the court.
Yeah.
Okay, now they get their feelings hurt.
Yeah. Once Giants fans found out that Tommy Lasorda was Piazza's godfather, that was game on.
Oh yeah.
That was game on.
I'm there with my 12-year-old nephew. I'm like, you cannot repeat the things you heard here today.
Yeah.
He goes, Uncle Bob, I didn't know that was physically possible what they're saying about Piazza.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think it is unless he's got like a 2-foot Johnson, all right?
Yeah.
So, just you can't repeat these things that you hear here.
Yeah.
But I just think that the fans think they can get away with more, but I think that the players are too sensitive now.
Yeah, what's kind of funny is that if you go to a football game and you see 2 fans, one from each opposite fans, for each team, they fight for whatever reason they fight, they get thrown out of the game. Now you see fans in a basketball game and they're giving whoever it is, they're calling them nothing but dirty names.
Yeah.
And he's flipped like in Kyrie's thing, he's flipping him off. The camera zooms in on them, heckling the player, and the player, turning around and, heckling them. and the camera zooms in on them so you know who they are, but yet they don't get thrown out of the game. Maybe if some of these players got thrown out,
he's going to get fined. They said he's getting fined for the flipping.
Yeah, he's getting fined, but I'm talking about the fans.
Yeah.
Maybe, when the camera zooms in on the fan that's doing this, maybe if they get him and throw him out of the game and he's being escorted by the police, getting out of the game, maybe some of these fans will stop doing this, and then maybe you could have a cleaner game or a better game, and then you don't have to worry about the players. Oh, they're and they are too sensitive.
They are a little too
Players
sensitive.
Are definitely too sensitive.
So what you're saying is kind of like, make an example out of a few fans, hoping that it may tone it down a little bit.
Well, you do it in football, and I'm sure you do it in baseball too, where fans are getting kicked out. So why? And I know you can't. I know there's, and it's funny because in basketball there's maybe 18, 20, 30, I'd say 25,000 fans at the most.
Yeah.
Where in football you got 60,000, 80,000.
Yeah.
And they can spot the guy who's causing the fight, and they throw him out. But why can't you do it in basketball?
You go ahead, Bob.
Go ahead, Bob.
I got kicked out of. I was the blame of our party getting kicked out of a skybox at a Giants-Cardinals game, because I was wearing a Dodgers shirt and we had the skybox, the last skybox down left field line, and I had Barry Bonds in my sights because he played left field, and I was wearing Barry out. All right, in my defense, we were on our fourth case of beer. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Barry had.
All I know is after the third inning, I'm wearing Barry out, telling him how bad he sucks. We got a knock on the door, and San Francisco's finest came in and escorted us all out to the parking lot.
Yeah.
So my boss had to apologize to the Giants, and they had to watch every time he would use that skybox for other groups, and because of our behavior. Now, forward that to the Raiders game, he would give tickets to our customers. So one customer had 4 seats to the Raider game, got drunk, got into a scuffle, got kicked out. They were going to revoke my boss's season tickets until he said, look, I gave them to some customers of ours, but he had to take an online class for a week to reinstate his season tickets because of that customer's behavior.
Yeah, perfect.
Now that happened to me when me and Kenneth was about maybe 8, 10, 9 years old. And so me and my son would go to the game, and it was a preseason game.
Even worse.
Stinking preseason game. Some guy about 4 rows below us is, and we're playing the Chargers, and he's going, oh, you Chargers suck. You guys stink, blah, blah, blah. And he's standing up and he's flipping the Charger fans. And I get up and I go, can you please sit down? We came to watch the game, not your back.
Yeah.
His girlfriend turned around and looked at me, or his wife, whoever it was. She tells him, what I'm doing. Yeah. He turns around and looks at me, gives me the finger, and I said, stick it up your ass. So he sits down. The usher sits down. The usher leaves. He's standing back up and the whole shit. He finally comes up to where I am, and he kind of like slaps me to hit me, and he misses me. I jump, over the seat. I was a little lighter then, and I wasn't as
Kung Fu master too.
So I jumped over the seat to go after him, and they're all stopping me and him, and the police come. They escort both out. He's against the wall when we got off the stairs. He's against the wall, and the police are talking. And I went up to him, and I grabbed both of his arms, pinned him against the wall, and I kneed him in his groin. And I said, you jackass, this is why I'm getting kicked out of this game. He falls on the floor. He's, oh, my account, I'm hurting. And I go, fuck, now he's going to sue me. They're going to take my name down. He's going to sue me. Da, 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 da. One of the police officers comes and wrestles me to the ground. I go, you son of a bitch. You think you're bad right now because you got 4 other cops and backing you up. Why don't we meet, out of the parking lot, just you and me, and see what happens. So him and another guy come, and they handcuff me, and they drag me out, and they go, well, you know what? After all this talking, they go, well, here's the situation. We got you on your name down on the list. if this incident happens one more time, you will get your tickets will be revoked and you won't have no season tickets. I go, you jackass. Why don't you go talk to the guy who's drunk that's causing all this shit?
Yeah.
Even the fans are telling you that he's the guy that started all shit and he's drunk off his ass. Why don't you kick him out? Go talk to him and get him out of here.
Yeah.
But no, they had to escort me out of the stadium, and I had to walk down to my car and go home.
Yeah,
so then I told my
but that
son,
moment, that's when Kenneth said, "My fucking dad's a badass."
Well, I'm surprised Andre didn't drop the fact that, look, you jackass, you dago, whatever you are, I'm a made man.
Do you know who I am?
Who I am?
But the problem is I didn't have my pinky finger with the
his
ring.
pinky ring on. Eh? He didn't have his pinky ring on.
So I wasn't a made man at that time.
Yeah.
So then anyway, I ended up telling Kenneth as we're driving home, I go, now I hope you learned a lesson that it doesn't do any good to fight in a game, in a stadium, because look what happens, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good father-son moment teaching your son a lesson.
Yeah, your son's like Kenneth's like that
dude.
I guarantee you,
I'm a made man.
I guarantee you, Kenneth went to school the next day and told everybody that you kicked somebody's ass at Candlestick.
My dad whooped his ass in the game.
You know, it was a stinking preseason game, man.
Right, preseason.
That's what topped it off. You know, I mean, I could see if it was a league, regular league game.
Yeah.
And maybe it meant something, but then the fucking guy gets drunk at a preseason game.
Yeah.
Hey, Andre, save that energy for the Cowboys or the Rams, okay? Freaking Chargers that are
Chargers, yeah. And we're talking Chargers early 90s, right?
Preseason.
Yeah, it's preseason though.
No, it wasn't the 90s. This was in the 80s.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but the starters weren't even playing.
Sorry, you're right, John. You're right.
Yeah, Kenneth was 8. Yeah.
It was in the early 90s.
Yeah, so early 90s.
We didn't win the Super Bowl till the 90s.
Yeah.
Or the first one till the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm all for, we talked about trash talking before on this show, and I'm all for it if you keep it about the game. So, you can get creative, look around, see the mistakes that they're making on the floor and make light of that. That's fine. I think when you start throwing in mothers, you start throwing in girlfriends, and you start throwing sexuality and all this other stuff, I think you have gone over that line, and you better expect some of that back. And the only problem is at the time you started it, it's 1-to-1. It's you and him. But once you get him going, and he starts to fire back, now it's 1 versus 30,000 because, now everyone sees what's going on. They're going to try to do their best to get in his head. And let's face it, we know what the fans are doing. The visiting team, they're going to do their best to throw their best player off their game. That's all. That's what taunting, that's what trash talking is all about, is trying to throw off the greatest player on that team game. And, but I think as long as I think you keep it about the game and keep personal issues out of it, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, girlfriends, I think go for it. Have fun with it. I just don't like the mentality. I paid $300 for the seat. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. No, you don't. Right. You don't get that right. It doesn't say that on the ticket.
No, it doesn't.
At least last time I checked, it doesn't say you can say whatever the fuck you want.
It doesn't say nothing. It just says we reserve the right to
kick your fucking ass out of here if you do something stupid, is what it says on the back of it. All right, you guys ready for some baseball talk? All right, before we go into these rankings, I got a few questions for the boys, and I feel like to start this segment, I need to start this sound first. It always seems like the starting of a boxing match. Anytime we start talking baseball between,
you want some of this?
See what I'm saying?
You don't want any of this. I'm telling you.
It's like the start of an MMA fight, where the two guys do the weigh-in. Fucking Andre on one side, Bob on the other side, fucking flexing at each other. One wearing a Dodgers hat, the other one wearing a Giants hat.
Well, I can out-muscle Bob, but I can't out-talk him.
All right, I'm going to start. I'm going to start this one off with you, Andre. I know it's only been a week into the season, but your thoughts so far with the Giants play?
I'm actually surprised how they're really doing. You know, they're doing really well. They've won, I think, what, 5 in a row.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
of
they're
as of
7-2.
last night,
Yep.
they won about 5 in a row.
They had the
they're-
sweep.
Yes, and so they're doing really well. They're in second, but like Bob says,
No, they're
it's not
tied
how
for
you-
first.
They're tied for first.
we're
Tied for
tied
first.
So
Yeah.
like Bob says, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
And so Bob can't say that because I said that line now.
Hey, just for you three guys, because I know I want to hit this button, and I know when I hit this sound effect, it's going to bring back some KNBR memories, and I want to see you guys' faces. You ready? Who was
Pete Franklin. Goodbye. Pete Franklin.
I miss that guy.
I used to love listening to Pete Franklin
Yeah, Pete
when I
Franklin.
was out driving on the road.
Yeah.
I like Lon Simmons.
Lon
I really
Simmons.
like Lon Simmons. He's
Yeah.
the guy that I really like.
Yeah. And Mr. Bob, same question for you, my friend. Your thoughts right now, week one.
Actually, I have watched a couple of Giants games because the Dodgers were on TV. I'm not gonna lie. All right, I'm not gonna lie. The Giants are a very good ball club. They don't have anybody flashy who's gonna make the news every night. They don't. But they don't need to.
Right.
They play good fundamental baseball. They don't make a lot of errors and stuff. And their pitching is surprisingly better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand,
Mhm.
I watched the Dodgers. That's a good lineup, man. That's a good lineup. But what's surprising is Andrew Haney,
Yeah.
who couldn't save his life in spring training, has thrown 2 great outings.
Yep.
And Clayton Kershaw's last time out, he had a perfect game going through 7
Yep.
with 13 strikeouts on 80 pitches.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he doesn't look like he has a holdover from all the injuries of last year. Now,
And Cody too. Don't forget about Cody. I mean, he had
yeah,
a-
I know
yeah.
Cody's hitting 270,
Yeah.
but he's still not hitting in the clutch like he
Right.
should.
Right.
But Gavin Lux is playing great baseball. The Dodgers just make too many errors because they give guys days off, so they put Max Muncy at second who can't field, or they'll put Max Muncy at third who can't field, and they just throw the ball around too much. They make too many errors. That's why they are not 9-0. They throw the ball around too much.
Yeah.
But I would be, as a serious baseball fan, I'm afraid of the Giants this year, just like last year. Last year, I didn't think that they could carry the momentum the whole season.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I thought anytime now, they're going to fall apart.
Right.
They don't look like they're going to fall apart this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from the great season they had last year, which obviously they played over their expectations.
Uh-huh.
And I think all that just carried over to this year.
Yeah. Confidence. Yeah.
And the confidence is just 100% more than probably what it was. Well, I shouldn't say 100%, but 30, 40, 50% better than it was last year. And that's why they're doing they're having such a great season.
Yeah.
I'm also surprised how well Brandon Belt
Yeah.
Right.
is finally playing to some of his expectations,
Right.
not at first base, but of hitting.
Mm-hmm.
He's finally starting to hit, and I hope this carries on, because if he starts to go into a slump, like 0 for 1 for 5 or
Yeah.
0 for 5, all of a sudden it's going to carry
It's still
over.
early. It's still early.
And then it'll carry over to like 1 for 27.
Yeah.
And then you're telling yourself, get him out of the lineup and put somebody else in.
But you still got that guy who filled in last year. What was his name? He was a lefty.
Not London.
Black
London.
guy.
Oh, the black guy. Oh shit, I don't know.
Yeah, well, whatever his name was, if he can come in and fill in for Belt, because he was, man, after the 7th inning, he was money last year.
Yeah.
Right. I thought it was London Gloria. London.
No, Longoria. No, he played third. This guy came in. He was like a utility player. Played outfield, played infield.
Oh,
But,
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name, man.
I remember he was a rookie and he played, and then they sent him back down
They
to
sent him
AAA.
back down.
Same guy. They sent him back down to
And then he
AAA.
came back because he was on the
And then he
team in
came
August,
back.
September, and October.
Right. I can't think of his name though.
Yeah.
I remember
guy,
him
man.
though. It
That guy's
wasn't
dangerous. You
yeah,
know,
his last
getting rid of Cueto and getting rid of Gossman,
yeah.
you guys' pitching is going to be the thing that carries you through. But you got some great arms, some great young
Right.
arms. And
Well, I'm glad
that's what's gonna carry you
I'm
through.
glad they got rid of Cueto. I just thought the season that he had last year, the way the team was playing and the way he was pitching, it kind of like almost kind of like ruined the team because his pitching wasn't um, his pitching wasn't steady and normal like he would have been in like the year before, 2 years before.
Yeah.
So it's almost like wasting a pitcher. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised they got rid of Gosman because I thought he was pitching pretty good last season. I thought he was
I
one
think
of
he
the
wanted too much money, and
it was-
the Giants have a smaller budget than the Dodgers do.
Just a
But
little.
you guys did pick up Jock Peterson.
Just a little smaller budget.
and he's been doing pretty good. This Peterson, from what I haven't been able to watch any games because my
Don't blame
dish my dish doesn't carry that station up here for the Giants to play.
Yeah.
So I have
Your
to watch.
Sportsnet. Your Sportsnet Bay Area.
I
Doesn't
don't.
come through?
My dish doesn't carry that.
Yeah. Well,
I
how
don't get it. You know,
how about
I
Posey's-
That's because
how
you're in
about-
the Sacramento area.
yeah.
Right.
How about
But you get the
Posey's
H game?
replacement, Joe? Andre?
I'm sorry.
Joey
Wait.
Bart.
Bob's asking me a question. What
Oh,
was
go
that,
ahead.
Bob?
You don't get channel 696?
I don't know. I have to look into it.
You've
I've
got
never done
Direct
that
TV
part.
or Dish?
Dish, and it's the
Oh, I got
shit.
Direct TV. Okay, never mind.
I have Dish, and it's the shits.
Yeah, my
I had-
Direct TV channel 696
Hey,
is the
careful.
Giants. I can
Dish
watch
Network sponsors
every
this
Giants
show.
Hey, Dish, can I get my money back?
Ah!
Wouldn't that be a good thing about you?
Well, I also wanted to talk about the big key miss of Posey in the catcher's role for the Giants,
yes.
and the kid doing Joey Bart doing a pretty good job. He's reached base 8 times in the last 15 plate appearances. So I think we're going to be okay in that position. I don't know if he's going to give us the home runs that Posey gave us and the clutch hits that Posey gave us, but so far he's not looking too bad.
No, but I have to admit the one thing is last season, as the season was wearing down, that clutch hit or that clutch
It
home
made a
run
difference.
that we were expecting Posey to do was nothing but a big swing and a miss for strike 3.
Yeah.
You know, and Bart did play some games last season,
Yeah.
which I think helped his confidence
For this
for
year.
this season coming on.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk. Well, of course, the Dodgers were number 1 in the power rankings. Giants were number 10 in the power rankings. So I kind of the team that we all love, the Houston Astros, ranked number 5 in the power rankings. They're number 5. Actually, wait. I'm sorry. They are ranked number 2. They previously ranked was 5. So they're number 2 in ranking. Number 3 is the Toronto Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Chicago White Sox. Number 5 is the Tampa Bay Rays.
Mm-hmm.
6, Atlanta Braves. How does the Braves? I mean, I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to if there was any major changes to the lineup from last year. But how does Atlanta get bumped down to 6 after winning the World Series?
There is one major change. That's Freeman, the first baseman.
First
He's
baseman.
now in LA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
could that be the reason why?
You dropped from
Plus-
1 to 6.
Plus Jock Peterson's with the Giants now. But
Yeah.
but on your list, they've got the Dodgers first. Then they got 4 American League teams.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that the Braves are ranked higher than the Mets.
the Yankees are 7th, and the Mets are 8th. San Diego's number 9, and 10 is Philly.
I put St. Louis over
San Diego.
over San Diego and St. Louis.
Yeah.
No, over St. Louis. Yeah, I put St. Louis over the Padres.
Yeah, definitely.
San Francisco's number 11.
Well, I mean, if you base this on runs scored,
yeah.
yes, San Francisco 11. But if you base it on pitching, I would have San Francisco in the top 6. But those first 4 American League teams are really tough.
Yeah, those are tough teams.
Except for, I mean, Houston's always going to have a bad taste in my mouth and stigma to me.
Yeah.
But at least Carlos Correa is not on there anymore, that fucker. Right. I hope he fails wherever he goes.
Right. I personally don't like Houston. Even if they would have won the World Series, I wouldn't like them because of what they did 2-3 years ago with cheating. I mean,
how much of that core team is left, though?
It doesn't matter. It's still the organization.
Yeah.
You've got Bergman, you've got Gurriel, you've got Altuve, you've got Verlander, you got a couple more pitchers. But yeah, you probably got about 10 guys who are still there.
But it doesn't matter how much are there and how much aren't.
Yeah,
because it's not the players; it's the organization.
You're sticking with. Yeah, I know you
still have the same coaches.
Absolutely,
you still have the same organization that said, yeah, if you think we can do it without getting caught, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Because every organization wants to win the big one trophy.
Yeah.
And the old saying, if you're not cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't cheating, you ain't winning. That's
like NASCAR.
Houston did it. New England Patriots did it. So I don't know. Didn't Baltimore do it too also, or was it Boston that was caught cheating?
Boston.
Along with Houston at that time.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to throw out the always seems to be the Cinderella team, the Oakland A's, ranked 27. Somehow, some way, I don't see them not making the playoffs. Am I right?
You know what? They will hang around because their young talent that they brought up will learn to gel. I watched them play over the weekend, and they took 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays.
I'm looking at the
list.
They
still got some very talented kids playing baseball.
Yeah.
But the thing
even though they gutted their roster.
Yeah, looking at the list, it's hilarious. Chapman, Olsen, Bissett.
Who's in their division? The Seattle,
Houston, Seattle, the Angels, and Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are in a tough division, though.
Yeah, they're in a tough division.
I just want to put this out because Corey Seager went to the Rangers because the Dodgers didn't give him 10 years, $350 million. Okay, they're 2-6.
Yeah.
They're 2-6. The Rangers did not address their needs. Okay, the Rangers picked up bats. They didn't pick up pitching. Yeah. I don't care how successful your bats are. Yeah. You cannot keep losing games 11-10, 10-9, 9-8.
I almost feel like Bob is one of those fans that, like, when no matter how great the Dodger player is, once he leaves, he no longer exists in his mind. He's done. He's cut off from the Bob Sharp household.
No, it's not if he leaves. It's how he leaves.
How he leaves.
Okay, Steve Garvey is my all-time favorite baseball player.
Yeah.
I understood that the Dodgers needed to move on from Steve Garvey at first base because they had a ton of talent coming up at first base.
Yeah.
And free agency just started. Did it hurt my feelings that Garvey left the Dodgers? Yeah, but did I wish him bad? No.
But his name was never allowed to be mentioned in the Sharp household.
Oh, no, that's not true because I still got my Steve Garvey autograph in my trophy case.
Why did he leave the LA? Why did he leave LA?
Because the Dodgers were bringing up Mike Marshall and Franklin Stubbs to play first and Greg Brock.
Yeah, they had some talent.
And at the time, the Dodgers were going through a transition, and Garvey wanted more money, so he went free agent to San Diego.
Yeah. You sure it wasn't because he got caught?
Oh God!
With those photos, or with those young ladies.
So he's banging 3 or 4 women at a time. Yeah. That's not a law. That's not against the law. Okay,
yeah, it is because
he was betting on baseball.
No. He was a family man that cherished the family.
He was cherishing the family.
He went to church every Sunday.
Families as he could.
He went to church every Sunday, and held the Bible
was
that
Mormon.
his family,
He was
man.
Mormon.
Hey, Mormons have needs too, Andre. Come on
Mormons
Of course they do. That's why they got 10 wives.
Exactly.
now. And the team. Anybody want to throw out a wild guess who's number 30 on that list?
Baltimore Orioles.
Fucking Bob.
The Yankees.
Bob is correct.
Baltimore Oilers.
The Yankees. How would you throw the Yankees down there as the 30th?
You said number 30.
I did watch the Orioles and Yankees, and the Orioles had this kid who shut out the Yankees for 8 innings, and the Orioles won 8-0.
Yeah.
But they got some good talent too. The problem is the Orioles kept trading their mainline players for farmhands.
Yeah.
None of those farmhands have ever really developed to be good guys.
And Pittsburgh's just right behind them at number 29.
Oh, yeah. Well, Pittsburgh will always be there because Pittsburgh didn't want to spend the money.
Pittsburgh with the, what was it, $35 million total salary?
Yeah.
Yeah, $35 million.
God. That's it?
Hey, somehow, some way, they're going to make it happen, Andre, out there in Pittsburgh. Some way, somehow, they're going to make it happen.
But they're competitive, though. They have a lot of good kids playing.
Yeah.
Mid-season, they're going to bring in their ringer, and he's going to start hitting home runs, grand slams.
And then he'll be gone the year after. He'll be gone the year after.
Trade him.
But how, if I started thinking, the A's did that. The A's made everybody open their eyes and look around and change the way they were doing things. Do you guys think that's something that can possibly happen again? Do you think that some sort of change is coming that's going to make the league say, oh shit, like let's just say, for instance, Pittsburgh somehow, some way this year just rolls right through the season and rolls right into the playoffs and ends up winning it all?
Well, you know what, though? I don't think Pittsburgh can do it this year, but we all hope Pittsburgh can. I mean, when the Kansas City Royals did it in 2000.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
2015. Everyone took notice because the Kansas City Royals were always a low-budget team. They lost in 2016, but they won they lost. Then in 2014 they lost.
Yeah.
They won in 2015. Okay, but they were a small market team. But then they had to break up those guys because Lorenzo Cain wanted more money. Hosmer wanted more money. Moustakas wanted more money.
Yeah.
Alex Gordon wanted more money because all their rookie contracts were up.
Yeah.
So they couldn't keep those guys, and that's the problem with the A's. The A's draft very well. The A's are the best farm system for getting young talent, bringing them up to the major.
Yeah.
Problem is, they know with their location and their fan base, they can't pay them when they get older.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that the Oakland A's really need to leave town.
Yeah.
Where they can move to a market that'll support them, so they can pay these guys and keep them. And the A's could have very well be the next dynasty if they move to a bigger market.
Yeah.
But isn't it proven though that back, let's say 7-8 years ago, when the A's weren't such a good team, but they made the playoffs, and they were, while they were a bad team, they were getting 2,500 people, 3,000, fans. But as soon as they made the playoffs, they were getting 25, 30,000 fans. That stadium was
Besides sad.
Besides what they had blocked off,
it's sad.
That stadium was full. So it's kind of proven that if you do win, you can get the fans to come back and play for you, and you could pay them because you're getting more fans now.
Yeah.
Just like in Kansas City's situation, they lost in 2014, they won in 2015. So some other players wanted more money. If you give these guys more money, they're playing for you now again. They're giving you a chance to win another World Series, which means more prize money, more fans, more endorsements, more of everything.
Yeah, more jobs in the stadium.
But here's the problem with that is Kansas City is a small market, so their local TV contract is probably not as big as the Yankees, Dodgers, or Giants.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But so they're relying on their fan base. They don't always get a sell every night. Probably have the stadiums halfway full. Yeah. That's why when you get, and it's like the A's, once you win and you got like 5 free agents coming up. Now you're stuck to who am I going to pay? Because I can't afford to pay everybody because I still have to pay all my scouts, all my people in the office. I got all the expenses for running the minor league clubs and doing all this other stuff too. So my budget on baseball is not as big as what the Yankees, Boston, Dodgers, Giants, Houston,
that's true. But
Atlanta, what those guys can pay.
Right, and that's true. I take that into consideration. But your scouts, your office people, they're not going to ask for more money because they're happy. They're happy with what they got.
Right.
So you have to kind of like you're saying, they can't afford to pay everybody, so they have to at least make some kind of effort to keep like maybe the main 4 guys or the main 5 guys.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, the A's tried
just
that.
Don't let them go. You just don't let them go.
The A's tried that with the pitching staff back in the 90s, and they just couldn't keep them together. You know, everybody just started falling apart and leaving. I mean, Zito was the last piece. Zito was
you let 2 of your pitching staff go, and you keep 3 of your or 4 of your best hitters.
Yeah, they didn't even do that.
Well, that's what they should have did.
But also though, with a small market team, all right. So if you look when the Dodgers come to town against the Giants, you're paying at least $100 for every seat in that stadium. Some are $200.
Yeah.
Right.
Kansas City can't do that. Kansas City's biggest rival is probably the St. Louis Cardinals, or I'm not sure which or the White Sox. Okay. And at the most, you're going to get $60 a ticket out of the most expensive seats.
Yeah.
Because that's not a market where you can have people pay $100, $150 a night to go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
So your ticket prices are considerably lower. So you're not generating as much revenue as the big market teams because that fan base can't afford to pay that.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. But you still got to.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think that there should be. I mean, I think that most teams try to get creative and try to throw other incentives for staying. And I don't know if that is allowed or illegal in Major League Baseball, but I'm sure there's been some side deals. But I just like Bob, like you're saying, Andre. I mean, when you, as a player, you want to win, right? I mean, and you are on a team that is winning. But when you get up to bat and you start looking around and there's 1,500 people in there, that's got to be that's gotta get to that player inside and say, you know, fuck,
the hell
man,
am I doing here?
Why am I here? Who am I playing for? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know,
and you just said it though. There was only 1,500, 2,000 fans in that stadium.
Yeah.
But if you're going to other stadiums, they're getting 30,000. Okay, maybe Kansas City doesn't get 35,000, but they're going to get at least 20, 25 maybe, which is going to be a lot more than 200 in Oakland.
Yeah, instead of 1,500 people cheering for you, you got 35,000 booing you.
Oakland is always guaranteed at least 15,000 fans per night because that's how many season tickets they have.
Yeah, that's what. I get it. I've been in that stadium where I have seen maybe 1,000 people.
But if you want to look, I mean, look at the middle 70s when the Giants were horrible. Look at the talent that came through there. They lost.
Yeah.
Okay, Kingman left. George Foster went to the Reds.
Yeah.
Bobby Bonds left. Bill Matlock was a Giant. He left.
Right.
I mean, they had a lot of talent they would have kept in the Giants. I mean, they could have had a pretty good run, but all the good talent got traded.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I don't know what can be done or what can be changed, but something. I thought for sure that this new negotiation for this contract was going to make a little bit of a difference, but it really didn't. I mean, nobody really won. You start looking at what took place with that. Nobody really won. Nobody really won. Either side didn't really get anything out of that new deal. You know, and all it did was just cause the season, you know, caused us to see a little bit of shittier baseball. I think that's why we're seeing what we're seeing right now this first week. I think a lot of teams needed that spring training. to get.
And this is it. This
Yeah.
is the first week or two is spring training.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the mistakes. We're going to see, the balls, we're going to see fly balls drop. We're going to see balls go between guys' legs for a while. We might see some pitchers miss their spots for a while. But, I think, no one really benefited from that deal other than I mean, does it really make a deal that the free agent gets one less year on his deal?
Right.
No, that's just going to hurt. It's just going to hurt the teams.
And the rookie contract went down 1 year.
Yeah.
So basically, overall, the players have a slight advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But baseball is never really gonna compete until they get a big national contract where there's a game of the week 3 days a week, like on ESPN or ABC, because all their TV contracts are local outlets.
Yeah.
Because KNBR owns the broadcasting rights to the Giants.
Well, do you think a minimum
station. The Dodgers have their own station?
Do you think a minimum spending cap would fix? Do you think that would hurt some of the? Would that hurt the Oakland A's? Would that hurt Pittsburgh? No.
So why don't they do that? Why don't they spread the money out? If the NBA, MLB really wants to be competitive, every team wants to be competitive. They want to make an exciting season, exciting baseball. Why don't they share the money evenly? It doesn't matter.
Well, here's the deal.
It doesn't matter what the Kansas City or New York or LA. Make it evenly so that way everybody can.
Yeah, but Andre, that's like Intel. That's like Intel telling the other chip manufacturer, "Hey, you know what? We made more money than you. Here's a little extra cash. Catch up to us." They ain't gonna happen.
But we're talking about different companies there.
Right.
We're talking about the baseball teams.
It's still competition. It's still competition.
Andre, I'm the Giants, and you're the Kansas City Royals. So I'm the Dodgers.
Yeah, okay, that sounds better.
So Sportsnet LA comes to me and says, "We're going to give you $4.5 billion to broadcast your games for the next 3 years." Kansas City, whoever their TV network is because of ratings, we're only going to give you $100 million because your team's not very good. Yeah. Now, why should I have to spend my $4.5 billion with you because my payroll is $230 and you only choose to spend $85? Why should I share my money with you?
Yeah.
But if they got more money, they might be able to willing to spend more money.
But what if I gave you my money and you don't spend it?
Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. That's what's going on.
Why don't they put a clause in these contracts that if you don't use the money to buy more players, better players, then you have to pay the money back,
or at least go into a pool to other teams to pull from it.
Here's the best story in baseball no one talks about. Okay, Tampa Bay Devil Rays. They're in a very small market community. Mm-hmm. They don't get a lot of money in. They probably go about 20,000 fans a night.
Yeah.
For the past 5 years, they've been competitive. They've won the East. They've been to the World Series.
And
what's Tampa Bay doing differently that Pittsburgh and those other places don't? Tampa Bay spends a little bit more money.
Yeah.
But also Tampa Bay can't afford to always pay their stars because Blake Snell went to the Padres. Every time they get a good star, unless the guy takes subpar value what his agent tells him to stay or to go someplace else.
Yeah.
He'll go someplace else and make more money, but he won't be on a good team. But Tampa Bay keeps reloading like the A's do.
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as Tampa Bay keeps reloading and keeps going to the playoffs and making a serious run for the World Series, why should we change it? Small market teams are thriving.
Yeah. I mean, there needs to be. We all know that money's pulled and given to the other smaller market teams, but there should be a cap there. There should be
a minimum cap.
Yeah, a minimum cap.
Say they should spend at least 130 million.
And they need to, and they could sit down and figure out. I mean, it doesn't have to be this astronomical number because there isn't really that much money. Let's be honest. It's a lot of money that's being sent to these smaller market teams. But I think if you take it in a whole and figure out where that number needs to be, whether it's every team needs to spend a minimum of 50 million. I mean,
130 million.
130 million, even better. I mean, that makes everybody pretty close, competitive.
Well,
I mean,
plus, if you spend that 130 million and you get a couple, 2 or 3 good names, more fans will come out every night.
Yeah,
you won't have 5,000 fans in the ballpark. Yeah. If you get quality guys that people know, you'll get 15,000 to the ballpark every night instead of 5. Okay.
So
and
then
that's
why
where you're
don't
going to generate your money at.
why don't the owners and the commissioners of the baseball, why don't they set a cap of how much money you can spend per player?
That's what we
Instead of
keep
giving,
hoping.
yeah,
You
instead of
can't
giving them,
you can't
Can't
do
do
that
the
because
player. You can't do the player.
you can't do the
you can't
player
go like,
because
okay,
now you're relegating how much somebody can make, and it takes off their independent value of what's going on.
Yeah.
yeah, but is it realistic for someone to sign,
No.
a contract for 10 years for 50 million a year? I mean, is that
Well, here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. If you get to be that good,
Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Okay, but once and watch football this year. Football is going to be a whole different creature. Okay,
oh yeah.
because you're paying Aaron Rodgers that money. He lost Devontae Adams and he lost three
Yeah.
more wide receivers because they couldn't pay the
Right.
wide
Yeah.
receivers. Who's he going to throw to? So that's going to
Yeah.
implode eventually to where you'll have two good players making all the money,
Right.
but you got no money for linemen. You got no money for
Exactly.
defense. So go ahead. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom Brady was never the highest paid quarterback when he played for the Patriots, but they won all the time.
They won all the
What's that
time.
tell you?
All right, guys, let's get into the USFL before we end this show. And this was a cool little article. It was on ESPN, and they were comparing the 1980 version of the USFL to today's USFL. And they were everybody had these questions, who owns the USFL right now? Back then it was a group of individual businessmen, including our president, past president Donald Trump, who owned the team as well.
He owned the New Jersey Generals.
Yeah, he owned the New Jersey Generals. Currently now, the owner is, I guess, it is Fox Sports. I guess Fox Sports is
Yes.
That's
I guess.
what I heard.
Yeah,
I
so
heard Fox Sports.
yeah, Fox Sports owns the team, and they were a couple of the other questions that kept coming up was, are the names still the same? And I guess most of the names have stayed the same. So I love these names. As I was going through some of these names, I was like, okay, Birmingham Stallions, the Houston Gamblers.
They are, guys. So the Houston Gamblers won a championship one year.
Yeah.
Who was their quarterback?
You got me. I never watched a single damn.
The guy from the Rams.
No, he played 4 Super Bowls for Buffalo. Jim Kelly.
Oh,
not
Jim Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah. You got
That's why they lost for.
You got
you go to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row and you don't win one.
Yeah, yeah. The Michigan Panthers.
Michigan Panthers. Now, back in the day, Michigan Panthers, they were quarterbacked by Bobby Hebert, and they had Sam Mills started playing linebacker for the Panthers, who is now in the Hall of Fame. When they folded, he went to the Saints.
Yeah, that's Bob. Bob knows everything.
WTF?
Excuse me.
The New Orleans.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
Bring him young. Bring him young.
Bring him young. That was Michael Jackson's favorite college team. Bring him young.
Steve Young went to the Niners, so come on now, give us some credit for
LA
that.
Galaxy. Steve Young was the quarterback for the LA Galaxy.
Oh, the Galaxy.
And then when the USFL folded, he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then he went to the Niners.
And everybody knows that he never got his checks from that team either.
But also he signed a $40 million contract. That's why the league folded, because before they could gather a fan base, they were paying these guys way too much money.
Yeah.
Because Herschel Walker played for New Jersey.
Yeah.
Right.
And he had
they were trying. Yeah, they were trying to get all the play right out of college. They were trying to get all these
they were
good
paying way
players.
too much money to start.
Well, that was the whole deal with them. It was pretty unique what they tried to do in the very beginning of the league. You had the New Orleans Breakers.
New Orleans Breakers, they had Marcus Dupree, who came out of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Philadelphia Stars.
Doug Flutie played for the Stars.
Doug Flutie, yeah. Pittsburgh Maulers. I don't know how
Pittsburgh was not an original USFL team.
Right. And the Tampa Bay Bandits. The Tampa Bay
Bandits were coached by the ball coach from Florida, Steve Spurrier.
Yeah. All safe names, so none offending any of the
them?
Native Americans in the world.
Steve Spurrier coached them. I thought Steve Spurrier was coaching the Washington Redskins instead of
No,
Tampa Bay.
Spurrier, well, one of his first coaching gigs was the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Oh, and then he went to the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once the league folded.
Okay.
Then he went to the University of Florida.
Yeah, after that. No, he went to Carolina.
No, he coached Florida.
He
He
started
won
in
two
Florida.
national championships at the University
Yeah,
of Florida.
he started with Florida.
Yeah.
He played college football there.
And he
Then he
started
got
coaching,
drafted by the 49ers.
and he coached the Florida team. Then from there he must have went to the NFL or
Yeah, he did. He won
whatever.
two national championships.
And
With
then
Florida.
after he left the NFL, which was the Washington Redskins, I'm sure that he went to like a South Carolina Gamecocks, I think it was.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He coached the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
And then from there he probably retired, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but I don't think he went back to Florida to coach back at Florida though.
Yeah.
Maybe you might know, but I don't remember him.
No. Urban Meyer took over after Steve Spurrier, and then after Urban Meyer was a couple guys who coached in Mississippi and stuff, and they have been very good since.
Yeah. Also, hey, I guess this is a good thing. Fox is not going to be the only one broadcasting the games, guys. Yeah, USFL has an agreement to split the broadcast of all 43 games between, ready, Fox, NBC, FS1. I have no idea what FS1 is.
That's
Sports
Fox's
One.
sister station.
Oh, okay. USA and the Peacock. Each team will be playing two regular season games with no bye weeks. The top four teams will then play two semifinal playoff games, followed by the championship on July 3rd. So it's not. I mean, you guys. All right. Here's the question. I'm going to ask both of you guys. Are you going to watch Mr. Sharp?
I work weekends.
Is all that you're not going to even? Will you check the sports update, Mr. Sharp?
You know what? If I'm home and a game is on, I will probably turn it on to see if there's any names I recognize.
All right, that's
and
it.
Then I might watch a game to see how the game is going.
Yeah.
But I think the USFL is good, only because it gives guys a chance who didn't get drafted a chance to play and make a name for themselves.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like the minor leagues of baseball.
Yeah.
I mean they can just kind of pull from that league if there's someone just. I mean, we wouldn't have the great, Kurt Warner. We wouldn't have the great Kurt Warner if it wasn't for
without the Arena League, you wouldn't have Kurt Warner. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's kind of I kind of look at it that way. I kind of look at it like, okay.
By the way, that's still a great movie.
Yeah. I look at it like it's kind of like that situation where, maybe the guy just gets out of college. He might not make the weight yet. He might not have the speed he needs yet, but he can come over here, play in the USFL, build up his weight, get stronger, get smarter, get to be a better player, and then maybe try, maybe a year or 2 years down the road, try to get a spot back in the NFL. So I look at it as a good thing. I mean, for you, Andre, will you be watching, Andre? Will you be turning on a game? He's watching right now.
I watched, no, not right now, but I mean, I did watch the New Jersey Generals against the Birmingham, was it Birmingham, Alabamas?
Birmingham Stallions.
Yeah.
The Stallions. I did watch that only because it was a replay, like about 11 o'clock at night. It was a replay.
Yeah.
So I watched some of it. And what I got out of it, it seemed like it was a little too fast.
It was too fast?
The players were just running up and down the fields, and it also seemed like it was a Division II college game.
Yes,
where the stadium was like half full, and there was just a lot of noise. Now, what I didn't like was that the quarterback had a microphone so you could listen to all of his calls.
They're all mic'd,
Every said, and I think other players were mic'd also because all of a sudden it got to like
you have to draw.
Instead of going 352, you hear that, but you also hear like a giant echo, in the background, like it's like hello.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that. Maybe it's because it was the first game.
Yeah,
They did
they're
that.
just trying to dial it in. Yeah,
Right. We'll see maybe what happens in like game 5, game 7. But I did watch that game, and I'll be honest, after I watched the third quarter because that's where it came in.
yeah.
I kind of changed it after the third quarter.
Well, real quick, we'll go through the rules here. They have a 30-second play clock.
Yep.
3 options after a touchdown, 1-point kick from the 15-yard line, a 2-point try from scrimmage, and at the 2-yard line, and a 3-point try from scrimmage at the 10-yard line. Okay, that one, I had a scratch in my head a little bit. I'm like, I guess depending on, the fourth quarter, your situation, what you're down, you have some options at least. You know what I mean?
If you've got 12 seconds, you're down by 9, you score a touchdown, you're going for the 3-point option to tie the ball game.
Yeah.
Right. But I can kick a 1-point option from what?
And then hope you get the onside kick. This way, this way,
you said?
if you don't make the 3-pointer, you can still do your onside kick.
All right.
The option to kick off or have an untimed down from their own 33-yard line in which the team retains possession if it gains 12 or more yards.
I don't get that one.
Well, basically, I'm down by 10 points. I score a touchdown. I go for the 1. Now I'm down by 3. I can get on my own 33-yard line. I can get another play. Now, if I gain more than 12 yards, I keep the ball and go down and score, hopefully win the game.
Oh, man, this is like college then.
Yeah, it is.
You keep the ball as long as you get a first down, it's like playing in college.
Yeah.
And, you can go down and score.
Yeah.
Right.
Kickoffs from the 25-yard line, which Fisher predicts will nearly eliminate touchbacks.
Right, it'll increase. It'll increase run backs. Yes.
Best of 3 shootout format in overtime, which each team gets 3 plays from the 2-yard line, and one with the most points after each team has 3 plays is the winner. That's how they're going to do that. On punts, gunners can't line up on the outside the numbers, and can't be double teamed until the ball is kicked.
Nice.
A 15-yard walk-off for defensive pass interference.
I like that.
Yeah, multiple forward passes are allowed as long as God damn,
are you behind the line of scrimmage?
It says multiple passes are allowed as long as they are all attempted behind the line of scrimmage. Yes.
Nice. I like that.
That could be fun.
You're going to get a lot of laterals back and forth, huh? Especially in the last play of the game.
Yeah, that's it, guys. That's all of it. I mean, it should be. I mean, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a little bit of a faster game than what I think a lot of NFL players or NFL fans have gotten used to seeing. I personally think the game has slowed down a little bit. Do you guys feel that way? Do you feel like the NFL game has slowed down somewhat?
No,
I do.
Yeah.
I feel like the players have gotten to be too big and too bulky, like 350 pounds, 360 pounds, and they're like, a pillar of a rock. So their movement's going to be a lot less.
Yeah.
Even though in the time, in the combine, they seem to do it like in 4.6, 4.5, which is good. But when you're playing, you're getting blocked, you're getting held or whatever. Yeah. So your speed is gone there.
Yeah.
Now, the only speed that I see is in the cornerbacks and the receivers.
Yeah, and even then, I remember maybe I'm being, thinking of the past, but I kind of remember teams having not one speed guy, but 2 or 3 speed guys. Where today it seems like Dodgers must have just scored. It just seems like teams are lucky if they got one guy.
The first time he cheered all night.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the Dodgers are playing the Braves. It's the first inning.
Yeah.
And Freddie Freeman went yard.
Yeah.
He left the yard
against the Braves.
But yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like in the 80s and 90s, teams had 2 or 3 speedsters, where now it seems like you're lucky if you got one guy. You got that one guy that's just a rocket, not like it was before, where you had teams with 2 outside guys that were just burners, even a tight end that was a burner.
Right.
It just seemed like there was the game seemed to be a little faster in the 80s and 90s than it is today. I think today is just so much. I don't know. Is maybe the defensive coordinators have gotten better. They understand the game a little better. They know the spots to be. I mean, that changes a lot when you're
That
playing.
could be true.
When you fill a spot. Yeah.
I think it's because everybody wants to focus on the run game.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants to run now to control the game so that the other team's quarterback is not out in the field.
Yeah.
So when you control the run game, you're going to get 400 pounders on the offensive line to move that defensive line, so you can go for 3, 4, 5 yards up the middle on 3. And then on every 3 run plays, you get a first down.
Wait a minute.
All right, guys, we are done. Anything else you guys want to throw out there right now before we head on out?
Nope.
No.
It was about Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, we don't want to talk about him.
All right, then we won't.
yeah, he's banned from the show. Cap is banned from the show.
That's what these guys were saying. These guys were saying,
they need everybody needs to stop giving him media time.
Yep.
And the thing is, the game has gone so far ahead of him. I mean, so far past him.
Yeah.
That he shouldn't even be in the picture anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't try out for the USFL.
Yeah, he should have. He wants to play that bad.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will try out and see what happens.
Yeah.
But
All right, guys, we are out of here. Thank you, Mr. Sala. Thank you, Mr. Sharp, and we'll see everybody next Monday.